Hi everybody, music director Daryl O'Neill here to present another video preview of an upcoming concert. In this case, it's our concert that's coming up here at the end of February. And we are going to be playing three pieces. This first one called The Barber of Seville Goes to the Devil by Gordon Jacob. The Rodrigo Fantasia para un gentilhombre by Rodrigo. And of course the monumental Beethoven Symphony No. 5. And I'm going to talk very quickly about those so you get an idea of what's going on. Now, you probably all know Rossini's Barber of Seville. You know, you have this chord going and right, everybody knows that tune, right? Now, with the Barber of Seville Goes to the Devil, it's a parody of the Barber of Seville. So it starts exactly the same with the same chords, except different instruments playing it. So we have this, bassoon and flutes. So it's moving around, but it sounds exactly the same until he starts changing the chords a little bit. Instead of like let's see, where's my chord? They got some really interesting harmonies here. So here we're back with the E minor again. That's what in the original you have that. But in this one you have these trumpets playing these really interesting chords. Really interesting chords that make it sound different. There's no chords in the Rossini. You just have the, but you don't have not even that. But here you. It's really an unusual melody, use of the melody. Instead of going down like this. Instead it goes, so it's so there are little changes like that, but it's quite an interesting little parody of it. There's even a changeover where he makes a tune into a circus tune. So instead of that's but it goes like this. And it's got this but very circusy sounding. So there's a lot of cool things that happen and change where he uses all the themes from the overture, but changes it, makes it really interesting and funny. So it is a parody, as I said. Barber of Seville Goes to the Devil. Okay, then we have our guest soloist, Anna Vidovic, and she is going to be performing Rodrigo's Fantasia para un gentilhombre. Many of you probably know Rodrigo's Concerto di Aranjuez that we've played before. That one. But this is a different one. It's by Rodrigo, but it still has some very pretty tunes. It's kind of fun that. Or here's another one. Very pretty tunes, and with the guitar playing. And we've got a fun little slow movement that happens, and that tune sounds like this. Let's see. Very pretty, very, very pretty. But it does have some energetic tunes in it as well. Oh, there's this one. Let's see. Very fun like that. So that's the Danza de las Hachas. The Beethoven Symphony Number 5, probably his most well-known symphony. One that's probably a favorite among many people, even people who are not regular concert goers. And everyone knows these four notes. And if you've got different recordings, you might be used to something like this. But some of them, it's just. And tempo could be or could be so it just depends on what the conductor wants, and there's so many different interpretations of this piece. But of course, very well known. The famous second movement is very pretty. So very pretty second movement, scherzo third movement, and the heroic last movement where you hear the famous tune. And it goes on, and it's super fun, and also a piece that I'm sure you're all very familiar with. A quick note. As I was telling you about how fast this goes, Beethoven actually wrote metronome markings in it. Now, when he first wrote the piece, the metronome wasn't in existence yet. And then it was invented, and then Beethoven took that metronome, he went back to all his pieces and put metronome markings in. So he put metronome markings in this, and very few conductors actually follow it. There's been a tradition of certain kinds of performances, probably in the history of the performance of this piece in recent history, say in the last 100 years, conductors have taken a lot of liberties with the piece, as you know from that opening. And with all those liberties, they took liberties with the tempo too, so they never take them at the tempos that Beethoven prescribes. They're so used to the old ones that they just don't like the other ones. But what we are going to be doing on this performance is we are going to be performing this as closely as we can to the original metronome markings that Beethoven put in. So we've done this in the past here in Victoria, but in the traditional way of performing. But this time I'm going to be performing it with the original metronome markings, which means that generally the tempos are going to be much faster in a lot of sections. But it adds to a certain kind of excitement. So you'll be hearing the Beethoven Fifth with the original metronome markings when you come to hear our performance. So, besides the monumental Beethoven Fifth, you've got this wonderful guitar concerto, and also this really fun parody of a well-known overture. So lots to come out to hear, and lots of interesting pieces, and a lot of fun pieces, a lot of popular and well-known pieces. So please come out and join us for the Victoria Symphony Orchestra's next concert featuring the Beethoven Fifth. Thanks. Bye.